All right, hey team, just wanted to show you a tool called Read and Write. We've been showing this to teachers all over the world, and it doesn't matter what school they're in, the age of the students, we're starting to see the same kind of enthusiasm for this. It really helps with cognitive load for processing of information, understanding text, and then being able to get text down onto a page. It comes with a PC version and a Chrome version, and there's also iOS apps that are available. So I want to just show you some of the main features, and then we can do a deep dive later on if you're interested. The first one is, having students be able to read and understand. So there's a couple of really nice tools for them to be able to work on that. I'm in a website right now. If I click on the play button just here,
dogs, small
it
beds,
will start to read everything that it sees. But you can highlight text and say, I want you to read this.
Kangaroos are the planet's largest marsupials of a...
All right, and it will start to read it for you. Now you can go into Read and Write, and you can change how fast it reads, how long it pauses after full stops, the type of voice that it has, and so on. Everything is customizable. Sometimes you'll have some information maybe sitting in an image. So for instance, this is an ad, but it's an image. It's not actually text on the page. But so normally you can't read that sort of information because it's embedded in an image. But you can take a screenshot of anything, whether that be a photo, a PDF, whatever, and it will generate a readable doc for you as well, which is really, really handy. In terms of getting information, you can see here that I've got a case study here just in a PDF format. And so what you can do with a PDF reader in this one here is you can scan a device, so you can take a photo of that PDF if it was printed, and then be able to scan it up. But maybe you've already got one. So what you can do is click on this PDF reader just here, and if I've downloaded this PDF, which I have, if I open it, what this will do is it will create a readable view for us. And the other good thing about this is that this readable text here will have some other features built in, which I'll show you in a second. So it's just taking that PDF document and it's putting it into this reader here for me. I'm going to try and test fate and see if I can't get it to read.
Stanford American International School. About Stanford American International.
So there you go. It starts to read the PDF even though it hasn't finished completely building that out yet. So really handy. One of the things that you can do too, if you have a lot of text and you have a student or a teacher that wants to take this away with them as an MP3 and just listen to it later offline, don't need internet, you can click on this little MP3 builder, highlight the text that you want to drop in here, and then you just go create MP3 and it will just turn that into an MP3. So again, you can do that on any website, any document, PDF, doesn't really matter. I'm going to flip over to the Chrome version because the features are the same in that version, and I want to just show you a couple of things that we have available to us. So what I'm going to do is just get rid of Read and Write for PC, and I'm just going to show you Read and Write for Chrome. Again, a lot of the same functionality will just work inside your Google Docs and so on. So you've got to add the Chrome extension into the Chrome Web Store. And then we're going to just run this extension just here. All right, so you can see that it's put a very similar toolbar, but just sits it inside your Chrome browser. What I've got here is a spell checker, but it's better than just the built-in spell checkers that we've got. And as you're working, it will go. You can see that it underlines words. And if I click on that, it says it's a spelling mistake, I can ignore it and so on. So it works in a deeper way than what you would expect from just your average spell checker. It gives them things to think about, and it makes more contextual suggestions than you would normally get. The other thing we've got is Predictive Text. So this is an interesting tool. If I just create some space down here, if I start to type, you'll see that prediction comes up, and every time I hover over something, it will read it out to me. The more I use that particular word, the higher it will sit. So I might say this, so we're going to choose this, and then it will say is
a not an old
example. So you can just keep choosing out of here, but as you type, it will also start to update here as well, which is quite an interesting tool for students to use to give them ideas of words that they can use. They've still got to think and choose the word that they're using. Sometimes you've got some words which are a little bit hard to understand. So if a student highlights that word, they've got a dictionary option here, which is similar to other dictionaries, but the great thing is that you don't need to understand it. So you don't need to go off to another dictionary site to understand. And you'll see that there's a play button next to all of these. So when you play that, it'll actually read it to the student as well. So again, it helps with that cognitive load, and it helps with the comprehension. Sometimes we need some extra help. So when I click on the picture dictionary and I choose a word, what it does is it also gives me a picture dictionary option here to give me visual cues of what I'm talking about in there as well. So again, a lot of the same features. You can read the document, you can take a screen capture of it. This screen masking is really cool. So if I click on this, wherever I put my cursor, it follows to help me focus. And what you can do in the settings over here is you can set this up to completely black out the page, for instance, and just have white or any variation of color that works for a particular student. You can also change how wide this changing bar is as well. So quite a nice tool. You've got speech to text. One of the things that you do have is highlighting tools. So it could be that the students want to highlight particular words for different reasons. So it could be that you say, I want you to put verbs in green and nouns in yellow. Or maybe they're looking at it and they're maybe the concepts that they understand, they could highlight green, and the concepts they're unsure of maybe would go in blue and pink. But what you can do at the end is you can click this collect highlights, and you can choose which one you want to do, and you click OK, and it will open up a new tab for me, and it will collect all of those highlights and organize and sort them for me based on color. So what I was going to do is go find all the yellow words and put them together in order, and then go find all the blue words and then put them together in order just here. And you can see that it links back to the previous document that we just had open as well. Another nice feature that you can do is you can also build vocabulary lists. So if I click on this vocab list, its vocab list is going to open up in a new tab again, and the students can go through and they can find words that they need to learn, and they can add them to the vocab list. So basically it just gives me a table of all the words that were highlighted, and because it has them highlighted, it puts the meaning from dictionary. It's also going to drop the symbols in there, and it's going to put notes. So you can say this is a symbol for below something, this is a symbol for electricity, and the students could write their notes just in there. So these are all the different words that I've had highlighted in the document, and then it automatically goes and creates a vocab list. If you wanted to create this but have it blank, all you need to do is click on the vocab list without highlighting any words, and it will just give you a blank list that you can make. But the great thing is, say I didn't understand lower, if I came in here and clicked on the picture dictionary again, it will have a symbol, and I can just drag and drop that symbol into my notes if I wanted to find something that was different to it as well. A couple of last little things I want to show you. This is a voice note, super handy. Maybe you're leaving comments for your students, and again, processing cognitive load, understanding it's a little bit hard. So if I go here and I say voice note, I click on the little speech icon, microphone, and I record my voice note for the student, and then all I do is click insert. You'll see in a second that this will take my voice note, upload it into a server at Read and Write, and then it's going to drop it in as a clickable listening note straight inside here. So this is where it sits, and the students just come in, speech icon, microphone, and I record my, and so they're just going to be able to listen to that right there. Fantastic for being able to give instructions to students so they understand it. The last one is really handy too if you're working with students and you want to listen to their vocab. So this would be great if you're teaching languages, for instance, or you want the students to read through a list of words. If I click on this practice reading, what it's going to do, oops, it would help if I gave it something to read. I could give the students some text and say, I want you to practice reading this particular text here. So the student has the text, it's highlighted, they click the recording. So read through this wonderopolis of electric charges and static electricity and so on, you get the idea. They click off send to teacher, and then you get that for them, and then as a teacher you can listen to pronunciation and things like that. So all of that again is built in here. The great thing about this is too, you get a little thing, a couple of other bits. So if I turn on hover speech, basically that gives me a whole lot of features here that should play this text for me. We just here click the recording. So read through this
0 hours. Ready to practice reading? Click the record button to get started.
Okay.
Click.
So that's your hover text. It just took a while to load up. You can search the web for different things. You can do screen masking and translate as well. So hopefully that's given you enough to just get your head around this tool. We're finding that a lot of schools are using it, different funding sources. If you're in New Zealand, for instance, Oars funded students get some funding applied for their students, and basically for the cost, depending on the size of your school, but generally, you fund, let's say, less than 10 students under the normal licensing agreement, and basically you can get the whole license for every student in your school. Again, it depends on the size of your school, so worth having a look at. If you've got any questions, by all means, let me know.